before we dive into all the content of this week's show, we just want to give a big thanks to our sponsors for the show, the Bowls Academy. The Bowls Academy provide game-changing content to all levels of bowlers, helping them to take their game to the next level. Visit thebowlsacademy.com to find out more. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you haven't missed us too much, but What a Load of Bowls is back for the 36th episode and the final episode of 2024, leading into the Christmas and New Year period. Simon Little's here with me again. Simon,
That's
how
me.
are you going?
I'm very good, DJ. How are you?
I'm struggling, mate. It's been 2 weeks since I've seen you. You've palmed me off to only a fortnight now, mate, and I don't know what to do with myself.
Are you struggling for that week in between? You need to find something to do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. Maybe I might have to actually start working or something like that there. You know, we don't all have real jobs like you, I suppose, do we?
Late nights in that Maitland Bowls office.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Mate, what is going on with this weather? Honestly, I'm melting here.
It is a bit warmer where you are. I've got a nice sea breeze down here, DJ. Cronulla, it's beautiful.
Man, I hopped into the car after work today. I was reading 45 degrees. What is this? Window straight. You can't breathe in that. Like, it's absolutely
can't breathe. Imagine playing bowls. You can't, surely bowls called off.
Bowls Australia and Bowls New South Wales guidelines, Simon. There'll be no social bowls over 35 degrees.
35.
No competition bowls over 38. But it's not necessarily just on the temperature. It goes with relative humidity. And yeah, it's absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
It's just, mate, like, I know you used to whinge about the weather back at home, right? But if it rains, you put a coat on or you put an umbrella on. Okay?
There you go. Yeah.
If it gets cold, you just put a heavier coat on. Okay? What do you do when it's 45 degrees, right? You can't, eventually in public, you're going to get done for indecent exposure if you're taking layers off.
You can't strip down your undies, eh?
No, you can't. Man, it's hectic. And especially after having been away from it for 4 weeks. It's just like, oh my days. But yes, I'm sitting out here in the man shed recording studio right now with the big fan going. And it is
no air conditioning. You need to sort that out, mate.
As if it's not bad enough, I have to look at you. It's uncomfortable enough in the heat too. So
these sweat beads dripping, I can see.
I'm just nervous, mate. I'm not, I've always been a nervous character. I'm not one for talking much. Right, mate. So 2 weeks it's been. A few things have happened.
Yeah, there has. Yeah, been plenty of results around the green, DJ. So let's have a look and see what we've got in our notes here and inform the listeners on what's been happening around those greens.
Yeah. What do you want to start off with, mate?
The big one.
The big one.
This is the best one.
The biggest one of the year.
The biggest one of the year. Maitland City.
What a team.
Champions
Champions
up in your region
of the first ever
Super League.
First ever Hunter Newcastle Super League. Minor and major premiers.
And you had no hand in it whatsoever. So there you go.
A little bit to start with. A little bit to start with, but it was pretty much played out while I was away. I did not attend the semi-final or the final. I did not watch it on the live stream. And that's not because the live stream wasn't up to standard. It was more that I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
Yeah.
And the fact that I had nothing to do with it and the guys won the minor premiership, I said, I'm still having nothing to do with it. I won't be at the final. And it worked out well. They played against Charlestown Tigers.
Yep.
I went right down to the last bowls. Interesting format, this one. It's a 5-a-side event. You start off with the pairs and triples. It's 2 points per discipline one.
Okay.
Pardon me. 2 points per discipline one, 2 points for the overall. And if you manage to get all the disciplines up, you got a bonus point as well throughout the normal season. Into the finals, then it's just a matter of who gets the most disciplines up. If it's tied with the disciplines, it goes on margin. So it was one discipline each at the halfway mark, with Maitland City 13 points ahead.
Oof. Yeah,
so Jay by Norris was kind enough to text me that and tell me how they were going at the halfway mark. I did ask halfway, let me know how they're going. And then he started continuing over the next couple of ends, telling me what was happening. And he was, in my version of politely, he was told to clear away off until I asked for some information because I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
Especially when both rinks were down at that time.
Oof.
But, the singles went to, what do we get? The pairs went to Maitland City to start with, and the triples, our boys got a 5 on the last end, they only lose by 1. Brody just dropped into the ditch with his last bowl, otherwise he could have tied that up. So that would have been interesting, but they had a 13 shot lead, like I said. Daniel Hill then got over not Simon Little, you're sitting in front of me, Simon Mitchell, the better player, got over him in the singles. And it was all down to the fours, and the boys trailed 7-2? Picked up a 2 Then they held one down with no bowls left to come on our side and managed to pick up a 3.
Right.
So the Charlestown skip was a bit unfortunate. So that brought it back. Yeah. So what that bring it to 7 each. And then they decided to get a 3 the next end. They go 10-7 with 2 to play. Lost the 1. 2 up playing the last. 3 or 4 down the head. Brody killed it. Respot on the tee. Charlestown skipper drew the shot after the third had missed.
Yeah.
And Mick drew one inside that, which meant he had to try and sit that out for 2 because a draw would have done Charlestown. But it wasn't to be, and Milton City walk away with the chocolates and the 2024 Super
inaugural
League
winners.
title. The inaugural winners, mate. Absolutely. Mate, this new uniform, we just can't stop winning up here.
Can't stop winning. Yeah, you done well earlier on in the year. Grade 1, getting to the final.
Yeah.
And this DJ, there's good stuff happening up there at Maitland.
When it comes to state championships later in 2025, we're actually considering buying a house up there because we got that many people going. So
that's good to hear. Good to hear.
But looking at accommodation too, because we got single gender pennants going away all over the country, all over the state as well. So yeah, it's been a good year, mate, for Milton City. We've built pretty well, and yeah, that was a nice one to cap off the year, being the first time that's ever been run. Everyone was a bit skeptical of it when it first came up, but we were definitely in need of something this time of year up this neck of the woods to keep the competitive juices flowing.
I do like that format. I do like that playing pairs, triples, and 2 going at the same time. I like that kind of 5-a-side format, and I think it's a good little short kind of format as well. They can shorten the
they're only playing 10 end games, so I think
perfect.
every discipline except the singles was 10 ends, and the singles was 18 ends. So it was,
I like that.
It's good. It keeps everyone interested, especially with the big board up for play as well. So no, it was good, mate. So hopefully it'll keep kicking on. You can only be the first time winners once, so happy days.
Well done.
No one will ever top that one, but yeah, no, it's pretty good, mate. Moving on to some of the smaller events then, mate. There was a world title decided in the last couple of weeks.
That's right,
Kane Nelson juggernaut
keeps
on rolling.
Yep.
Under 25 world singles champion and under 25 mixed pairs champion with Kira Borg. So well done to them two over in Hong Kong. Great experience being able to go to Hong Kong and to come away with a world title. There's no stopping this Kane Nelson, is there?
That's it. And we would mention him in, I think, a good few episodes back, saying about something going up there, up that region of Queensland, plenty of winning happening, and he continues. His
brother
to
won
form.
the Australian singles as well. So.
Man,
what's going on?
Yeah, I know. Must have been from he played at Tarn Point.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what kicked him on. So it was. I'm sure. Yeah, we'll not talk about that, mate. Do you want to mention Platinum Pennant?
Nah,
Speaking of which, it's coming around again next year. It'll be interesting to see the format, the draw, how long it's going to take. Are they going to change the finals from away from the other state pennant finals? If they do, the podcast gets full credit. We know that. We will tell them that. All right. What else do we have, mate? The UBC. We touched on that in the last episode. We had the first winners out of the 3 events, and that was the
Exodus.
Getting their names now. I know the names of the players. It was Exodus. I apologize. It was Exodus. Exodus won the first one. Then it was into the second one, and Warilla came away there from Deer Park. I think it was Deer Park Blue this time around. Deer Park Yellow made the final first up. Deer Park Blue made the final the second event, with Warilla coming away with the win there. Very emotional Jeremy Henry talking there, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yep.
And then that team was made up of Jeremy, TZ, and one Corey Wedlock. So they went in pretty light as well, as you do. And the final winners, Warilla made the third final again. So 2 out of 3 finals, made the preliminaries in the first one, which gave them the Ultimate Team Championship.
Yep.
But they didn't come out in the third winners. It was actually Flemington Colts, made up of Dylan Fisher, Cohen Litvin, and James Webster. So well done to all those at the UBC. We had hoped to get a chat with Chris and Mark before this episode, but we're all a bit busy and we didn't get doing that. So we will bring an episode in the new year, folks, where we talk to Mark Casey and Chrissy Grain about the UBC, how it came about, and some of the different rules in it. But it's definitely got a lot of talk. I'll be honest, I didn't watch a big lot of it. I watched that second final. But a lot of the guys around the club keep talking about it. They love the interest in it, especially for the points per toucher.
Yeah.
Someone being awarded the golden touch at the end of every event, which a friend of ours, Gary Kelly, managed to take out an event too. So he did, and Corey Weller got the third one. So it's interesting things like that. 3 points for a toucher, and then obviously you get points for if the lead's holding after the first 3 bowls and things like that. Just points. 5 end games, short, sharp, half hour. Away you go. It's very, very interesting. It seems to be taking off a bit, mate. So
yeah, I do like that fact that we actually reward for what we're actually trying to do. We're actually trying to get touchers and close to that jack, and you get rewarded for that, regardless of you're the first ball played, and the chances of it being the shot at the very end of 8, 10, 12 balls later. But I like that kind of bringing something different and something new, and that's probably why it's getting talked about, I think, around the clubs. And as you say, people get involved in it. And the only thing I've heard from a couple of players that have played in it to counteract that is the scoring system when you're playing. You definitely need a bit of maths going on in your head when you're playing. That's what I've been told. So
take a bit of getting used to.
Yeah, I think it does. But that might be from a few players that just can't add up, DJ. So we'll not name names, and yeah,
we're not renowned for having the highest IQ in the sporting world, are we, in our game? So no, but yeah, it is what it is. But I suppose, mate, the more people get used to it, it'll become a bit like darts. I know people are saying about the amount of mental arithmetic in your head in darts, but eventually there's sequences that lead to an outcome. So I'm assuming there's something similar to that there, So yeah, no, it's definitely a great format. Trying to win the ultimate end, getting all three closest balls to the jack, because obviously it's not just the closest ball to the jack, it's the closest three balls to the jack all score points. So yeah, very interesting format, and one that I wouldn't mind sitting down talking to the boys and hearing a bit more about. This time of year, mate, heading into Christmas, so there's a few areas like to throw on their own tournaments and carnivals and stuff. One of the big ones, South Pacific, down there in the Illawarra, they're running their usual Zone 16 South Pacific singles and pairs. I think there might be a mixed and open pairs and everything now, and fours and stuff. One of the first events I was able to play in when I came out to Australia, mate. It's a great little event to have there just between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, and you used to play in that, didn't we?
Yeah, we get a semi-final of pairs one year when I was carrying you, back when I could play.
That was a while ago, eh? That
was on TV too, remember?
That was whenever you could hit runners, and you managed to hit targets. But you're a bit hit and miss these days, so
more miss than hit. But yeah, and then up to the other side of the state, up in Ballina, they've got the Summerland singles and pairs going on as well.
It's always big names up there, yeah.
Some big names up there in the singles, they are. So they're well done to Cherry Street Sports on running that. Yeah, Cherry Street Sports running that one. I think Jason Pinnock's having a lot to do with it up there, the RBM or whatever their titles are now for Bowls Australia, so good luck to them. And then, look, to me, that's the only really two worth mentioning, but you wanted me to mention your region with the Metro South whatever and the Zone 13 turn of the year
region DJ,
which nobody plays.
You would as well. You've been pushing the Super League onto me week on week. I got to mention the Super League, but this turn of the year tournament happening.
All right, who's the favorite in the singles?
13. Oh, there'll be a few players, handy bowlers will get there. I won't be playing, so taking a break from bowls.
No, but you're actually heading to Brisbane for Christmas, aren't you?
I am heading up north, so I'll make that trek on Sunday morning, early hours. Going to leave early, beat some traffic heading that way, and roads will be busy at the weekend, so
they will
get up early.
It's a good road now. Like we've done it a couple of times at the Gold Coast there, up to visit Aaron and stuff, and yeah, it's a lot better than what it used to be, mate.
Yeah,
so it is
most definitely.
Yeah, and the little one's first Christmas, eh?
That'll be fun. I was trying to keep her away from the Christmas tree and not pull it down and destroy all the presents that are under the tree. And yeah, she's getting into everything and pulling things off the table and off the chairs. And yeah, it's at that age where she just wants to explore everything, look into everything, put things in and everything, take things out, just destroy everything. So yeah, that's what my job will probably be this Christmas. Just guard the Christmas tree.
Very good. Mate, we've never had Christmas away from our own house. So we've never come across this problem. Does Santa know which house to drop the presents at?
Hope he does.
Like, how does he, like, because obviously he knows where you guys live, but you're heading to Brisbane. So are you confident? Are you confident the presents are going to make their way to Brisbane? Are they going to get stuck in Cronulla?
Put a redirect note on the door and hopefully he makes it up that way in time then.
Don't know how it works. Big man's amazing, isn't he?
Yeah, I know.
So, yes. All right, moving on then, mate. Some other things that are opening up. So the Aussie Open event, the whole carnival, it's open for entries. I've seen as well that the BPL are calling for the BPL teams. That's where just your everyday player like me and you get to enter in the triples event and try and win a BPL title down there in Pine Rivers later in the year. And with that, mate, the BPL teams are actually getting announced now, leading into BPL 21. It'll be in Moama in February.
Yep.
So every 2 days, BA have been announcing their teams. There's still about 4 to go, I think, but a few debutants coming up in this next one, mate.
Been a few changes, and a few teams.
I think there's Warren Holtz coming over from Western Australia to make his debut. Kane Nelson, that name that we keep mentioning.
No surprise there.
He's getting a run with the Moama Steamers. So he is alongside Aaron Sheriff and Kaz Millerick. So hopefully he can carry Aaron Sheriff. That's tough ask there, but no, not bad for Kane. To get into. And Melbourne Extreme have brought a debut in too with young Jack McShane, who you were pretty animated last time around should be in the New South Wales State team aren't you, for next year?
Definitely. He should be in there.
Who are you dropping?
I'm not going to say, but
yeah,
I think he should be in there.
You tried to get me with that last two. Anyway, so yeah, BPL, mate, it was great last time around. It'll be good to go. Well, hopefully we're going to go down and witness this one again down in Moama. I will not be on the green for the Right at Home Challenge. I can tell you that. I will be hiding as far as I can from that. I've had my experience, worst experience of my life. I've had high blood pressure ever since. So yeah,
well, your face is a bit red then, is it?
Yeah. Referring back to last week's podcast, again, you were pretty animated about a certain player who won a world title and only had one cap for Australia.
Yep.
Big news, mate. He's about to add to that. So obviously the selectors were listening to you last week.
I seen that post and I went, they are definitely listening to this podcast.
100%.
Definitely.
Well done to Leroy Schreiner, included in the Trans-Tasman team.
Yep, I seen that
for
post.
The new year, man.
Congrats, yep.
So yeah, Lee will add to that one cap that he made a few years back. But I think he's got a few runs on the board to be able to add to that now, mate. So it'll be interesting.
Yep.
One thing, just while I look up the teams here, mate, one thing I found interesting in that article is that they mentioned that the singles and the pairs at the Trans-Tasman are going to be played in the same format as the World Cup in Hong Kong and the Commonwealth Games in 2026. Now, it didn't reveal exactly what that was.
Be a sneak peek,
but it'll be interesting when that comes around in January, mate, to see how they're actually going to play the Commonwealth Games. Mm-hmm. The fact that they're playing the singles and pairs in the sets format suggests to me it's not going to be a BPL format that was rumored.
That's what we did here.
Just be three-person teams, singles and pairs, played over sets play. I'm not a big fan of sets play, but it's in the Commonwealth Games. I'm not going to complain. But yeah, mate. So on to that Trans-Tasman. Funny, I was only just thinking about it the other week because it's one event that you usually see every year.
Yep.
Between New Zealand and Australia, but
it's well publicised and well put out there, and results and views and footage and that. So yeah.
So the men's provisional squad: Ben Twist, Cody Packer, Kane Nelson, Nathan Black, Nick Cahill, Aaron Wilson, Aaron Tees, Corey Wedlock, Carl Healy, and Lee Schreiner. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 New South Wales.
Go the Blues.
Out of 12 that played the Alley Shield. So that's not bad. So I reckon those 8 aren't going to be dropped for Jack McShane next year, but the other 4, be scared.
Ooh.
And the women's provisional squad: Chloe Stewart, Natasha Van Eldik coming back in, Christina Christic, Kelsey Cottrell, Dawn Heyman, Jamie Lee Warsnup, Kylie Lavis, Cass Millerick, Brianna Smith, and Jessica Tell. So well done to all those selected. There's also going to have the para events too. So the para men is a couple of familiar faces with Damien Delgado, who we're familiar with from that Turley interview, and also Jimmy Reynolds. Para women, Louise Hoskins and Serena Bonnell. And the VI pairs, which is Jackie Hudson and Jake Fellberg. So well done to all those that have been selected to represent Australia at the Trans-Tasman in the new year. And their opponents, Simon, we've got the New Zealand Blackjacks team in front of us too.
Yeah.
So they've split theirs up into Blackjacks men, women, and then development women, men, and also the para as well.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Blackjacks women, Taylor Bruce, Briar Atkinson, Selena Goddard, Leanne Poulsen, and Val Smith. Val Smith still going.
Yeah.
Blackjack men's, some Shannon McElroy and Ali Forsyth. Finbar McGuigan, that's a name right there. That's up there with Flynn O'Shaughnessy, that one.
It is, yeah.
Finbar McGuigan, Sheldon Barbie Harley, and Keanu Darby. All right, so that's the men's team. The paras is Mark Noble, Kurt Smith, Terry Blackburn, Julie O'Connell, Karen Wheeler, and Sue Curran. And they've also named a development women and men, like I said. So Lisa Prideaux. Ooh, interesting there. That's Bose, isn't it? Bose was representing Australia there a couple of weeks ago in the Oceania Challenge, and now Mum's going to represent the New Zealand women.
There you go.
Kim Hemingway, Sarah Scott, Caitlin Thompson, and Natasha Russell. And development men, Aidan Takarua, Robbie Bird, Hamish Kelleher, Kaylin Hooler, and former world champion Nelson Bay stalwart Blake Signal. The development team. Fantastic. He's going to skip the triples and fours for the development team. So there you go. Blake's making a late surge to try and get back in the blackjacks, is he? Or is he just there for his experience? But well done to all those Kiwis getting to represent the blackjacks. Mate, will we see a couple of hackers before the event, do you think? Or I wouldn't mind seeing Ali for South lining up to do a haka ahead of Carl Healy. What do you reckon?
I've seen that once, I believe.
Have you?
Yep. Back in the day at Tarn Point. And done with pretty fierce ferocity.
It's fantastic. This is fantastic.
It's great to see, though. I absolutely love it. Love to see it. Love to see it in the rugby union. That'd be tune in to see it. Yeah.
I know. I've got two nationalities as it is. However, if I had to choose a nationality to be, I'd be a Kiwi, I reckon. Very passionate bunch of people, so they are just like myself.
Well, I do have to say they're, the second best nation. DJ behind her own, because my lovely missus is Kiwi, so yeah. They're a great bunch of people.
They are. They're a very nice bunch of people, so they are, except for Ali. Anyway, moving on.
He's coming on the show.
Oh, obviously I'm skipping that week. All right, mate. Some other big news. We mentioned it there with the UBC. So for the first time in 15 years, one of the biggest jobs in bowls or bowling clubs is up for grabs. Jeremy Henry's moved on to pastures new at Kawana up there on the Sunshine Coast. So well done to Jeremy on snagging that job and moving up there with a family. Big move up from the Illawarra. Yeah. As I said, Jeremy's been at Warilla 15 years now. No mean feat. Not too many coordinators last that much nowadays. But yeah, he's obviously got an opportunity that he's taken. And well done to everything he achieved at Warilla, Jeremy, especially putting up with Gary and all them boys for so long and bringing them through, mate. They wouldn't be what they are without you. But, mate, that means that the job's up for grabs. Did you get your application in on time?
No, I didn't, DJ.
You didn't? Oh, man, you just stick to surveying and working nights in.
I'll stick to surveying, mate. Yeah. Spend enough time with bowls clubs playing. I don't need to spend.
You haven't got the patience to do all the bowls, mate.
So I definitely don't. No thanks. I'll just go to the bowls club for my pastime and that's it.
Yeah. Now I'll be interested, mate. I'll paying close attention to that one to see who gets that one because it's a big gig. Like
that is a big gig. Yeah.
And
that's in like terms of when Turles left Tarn Point.
That's the exact same as what I was thinking.
And a massive shoes to fill. So whoever does take that role really has to hit the ground running. Yeah, think back to it's like Ferguson leaving United as well. It's that kind of
stop it.
Epicness.
Are you trying to get a gig at Kawana or what?
I know Jez is a good United fan, so that's I've got to slide that in there.
Jeremy Henry leaving Warilla is like Sir Alex Ferguson leaving Manchester United. I bet you tag him in the comments this week too, you snake.
I'll make sure I do.
Very good. But no, as I said, well done to Jezza. All the best up at Kawana. And good luck to Warilla with the replacement. I'm definitely keeping a keen eye on that one, especially with Gaza being down there. It'll be very interesting to see who gets that job because I'd say there'll be a few big names will be in for that one. So
yeah, most definitely.
Good luck to them choosing the able replacement for that one.
It'll be a tough job, yeah.
Yeah. Well, mate, this is pretty much the last episode for the year, our 36th episode, but the final one for 2024, our first year of the podcast. How did we do?
I think we've done all right, DJ. We've plenty of listeners every week, and our followership keeps growing. Every episode we come out. No, I think that's a word, is it? Can you look it up there quick?
We'll look that one up.
Okay.
Well, man, I think you've been a bit harsh. I think you've been all right. I've been exceptional. So I have. But no, it's been a lot of fun, man. I never thought we'd get to hear when we sat down 12 months ago and went, let's make a podcast.
Yeah.
Here we are, every couple of weeks getting together, talking rubbish about bowls like we like to do off air anyway, and people are actually listening to it. So it's been good, mate. It's been good. Bit of a new look or a rebrand coming in 2025, mate. You've got some new logos you've been working on there for us.
We've been working on a few logos, a bit of input from yourself as well, and we'll bring something a bit fresh to the podcast in the new year and a new look to it. And with that, we'll hopefully have not a new DJ. It'll be probably the same DJ, unfortunately, but we'll maybe we've got a few names in the pipeline and a few people we've got that want to come on. So we'll definitely bring a few more player interviews and guest episodes on anything Bowls related or within the Bowls arena, not necessarily players, but might bring on a few volunteers as well and sort of get different aspects of our bowls world. So yeah, looking forward to that new year, DJ, and what's going to come in 2025.
Yeah, there's a few podcasts coming out of the woodwork, mate, trying to chase this, but we'll keep that top spot up there as the best bowls podcast on the web, I reckon. So it's just you need to have those little challenges just pushing you along, mate, to make yourself better, and you know we can do that, so that's not a problem. But what have we got looking forward in 2025? I mean, obviously New South Wales, we got the regular pennant season. You'll have platinum pennants providing you make the team, I suppose. Provided
I'm selected, yeah, we'll be there as Tarn Point, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to platinum pennants and seeing if any of those little changes that we spoke about back in the first few episodes that we've done in the podcast, if they do make a few changes. I.e.
when the state finals are.
I have got a glimpse of a draft draw, I believe. So nothing real exciting that I can say because it's only a draft. It's not finalised. So yeah, looking forward to getting into that, but that'll be sort of not straight off the bat. 2025. I think I'll have club singles, DJ. I played at the weekend, so first game of the year will be club singles semi-final against.
Oh, that's why you mentioned it. You made the semis.
He's a little known player, Riser.
Oh, so he got the easy draw, did he?
Yeah, he got the easy draw, so he's got me in the semi-final. So that'll be my first game of the year. So I'm going to be, maybe I'm off work a few weeks in the new year, so I'm going to get down to the green, DJ, and have a good solid training session on the lead up to that singles game. Thank goodness those TBA
targets got in on time, mate. Hey, you can get them out on the grain and use them, and yeah, good on you, mate. Good on you. Yeah, platinum. You mate. To be honest, I remember you were looking forward to platinum last year. That ended pretty darn quick after the first 2 rounds, I think. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how you go. Hopefully the weather's a lot better too. Yeah, it was pretty hampered last year. A lot of clubs actually, but for the good of the competition and just showing you how these clubs wanted it to work, a lot gave up their home field advantage, yourselves included.
And played indoor,
to go and play either indoors or under a cover and all that rain that we were having. And mate, it's going to be hard to top last year's one with the final. I don't think you'll see that again.
Yeah, I did see Bowls New South Wales reposted that a couple of days ago.
So they should. And they should be thanking flipping Cabernet and Warilla for what they did, mate. That was an advertisement for the sport. I said it at the time. I was very, very passionate about it, and I still am. Like, they owe them a gratitude for that. I think they're also posting in their recaps about the unification. They finally realised it's 2024 and that men and women can work together, so that was good too.
Yep.
That's been a long time coming. Starting off with Greg Helm and Ann Johns, and then finishing off with the hierarchy that we've got now with Tim and all that there. So Finally, the sport's moving in the right direction in terms of unification. They still just got to get a few other rules right, but that's not going to happen because they won't put me on the state match committee. Zero credibility. Zero credibility. Just another recap there for you for what's happened in the year. But yeah, no, it's been good, mate. I'd like to go one better than what we did last year in the state pennant.
That would be good if you guys could go one better and win the grade 1. I would love to see that, and hopefully it would be on a different time to when platinum pennants being played, because hopefully we'll make the finals. That's the aim for Tarn Point, and I'd love to come and see you win grade 1.
I'd love to see you win platinum too, mate. We can all dream.
Okay, we'll make it a deal. You come and watch platinum.
You make the platinum pennant final, mate. I'll be there cheering you on.
Okay, so that's a good incentive.
I'll not go any further than that because it's likely to happen. To be dressed in some sort of inappropriate attire at the sidelines. No, I'll not be betting that.
In a Tarn Point shirt?
It'll happen. I've made that mistake before. I'll wear a Tarn Point shirt. So, well, pretty similar colours to the old Maitland City nowadays. So it is. Just the bond that we have between the clubs, mate.
Yeah.
But, yeah, mate.
What are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to, DJ, in 2025?
Yeah, I can't wait to get back in the pennant season. I love pennants. It's just the pinnacle. Like, there's nothing better than, like, it's great winning on, a zone title, a club title, whatever, but nothing beats going out there with 11 other people and battling it out for the one cause. It's just, I just love being in team events, mate. You'll tend to lift a bit more playing in a team event when you've got those people you're, relying on you than just yourself. Like,
yep.
When it comes to singles, mate, take more leave it than take it, but I could take it or leave it with singles, but you definitely don't give up when you're fighting out there with 11 other people on the green trying to get that common goal. So yeah, looking forward to doing that again, and like I said, trying to get down to wherever the state finals are going to be. Hopefully it's a full 16 this time. Like, don't get me wrong, we didn't not enjoy last time because we made the final. We won our section, made the final, but having 2 sections, one of 6 and one of 5 with a bye in at the state finals just doesn't quite have the same feeling to it. So, but hopefully we can get that sorted out. There's 16 teams. We go back to the usual finals, the quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, and just make a real show of it, mate.
So here's a question for you. When did the preparation start for that? So give our listeners a bit of a guide out there. If you're not in New South Wales, when do pennants kick off, and when do you, as manager or overseeing teams and that, when do you start really getting into the nitty gritty of let's get on the training and getting people focused on the start of those games?
The admin side of it started 2 months ago because we had to get who's interested, who wants to play, and then we have to nominate those sides to actually go into the competition. Yeah. Obviously with Super League, it's kept a few guys keeping their hand in and keep them interested is good. We've got 2 single gender pennant teams that are going away to finals as well. So they've been having a bit of, especially the women, they've been having a bit of coaching and stuff on the side, trying to keep them going. But really, mate, I'll take 2 weeks now to just chill out a bit and then hit the ground running in January. Like we've got a pennant trial mid-January, another one mid-February. Got a few club championships and stuff in between. We'll organise a few different days to put teams together as best we can and get people familiar with each other. And then, it's really, planning has been happening. Doesn't really effectively kick off till January, but for the players and stuff, it'll all start kicking off in that January. And like we came runner-up in a lot of pennants last year. I think 3 all up, plus winning the big one up the top. So it'd be nice to keep your hand on that prize, as well as securing the ones from down below, because, one shirt, one club.
Yep. So here's a question for you. You've had to put names in, obviously, against grades and different teams. Do you release squads prior? What's your thoughts on that?
No. We us as selectors will get together pretty soon and start thinking what we have squad wise. The problem I find with doing that is because you are going to have trials, so and anything can happen at trials, and then you're going to have, like, with the demographic of our sport, you're going to have people that have other commitments to come up or get sick or something like that there. So try not to dishearten people too early, but putting the teams together, putting trial teams together, and it just gives them give everyone a chance to try and make the grade they want to make. And then after that, it's just a matter of dealing with the egos for who don't make the grade or the position that they want to play and things like that there. It's going to be competitive this year. We took a competitive decision to lose our second 7 grade. Numbers wise, last year we had enough to fill it, but it was really it was almost just a social grade, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not a big fan of entering 2 teams in each grade. You do it to try and keep people playing, but you can only win that grade once, so why wouldn't you just go all for it? You know what I mean? So there's going to be a few more maybe disappointed this year, but the idea is to get them in the right frame of mind that they're competitive about it and they're trying to win that spot back off somebody else. Yeah. And it keeps the people up top on their toes as well, then knowing that the people down below are ready to step in if they don't. So
step up a grade,
little bit of a different tack this year as opposed to just trying to get people on the green representing the club. But, it should be an honour to be representing the club. You shouldn't expect to be representing the club. You should be honoured to be selected in that position. And if you're not, you should be willing to fight to get into that position while also supporting the people that are there. So that'll be the message going to Milton City this year. But no squads yet, mate. Look, I think anyone that sat down with a bit of paper and thought about our membership would pretty much pick 14 or 15 players that are going to be competitive for grade 1. Yeah. And after that, there's a bit of a flow down.
Okay.
And people have to be informed to be able to keep their positions from last year. No one's got a God-given right to be in any particular grade.
Interesting, because at Tarrant Point, we've released some squads with our grades.
Nice.
To give it just as a different perspective that people actually know where they're sitting and have a chance to maybe change that of where they're sitting, what grade they're in or what squad they're in. And with trials coming up, we have trials too, and they're against trials, not in-house trials, but trials against other clubs. Yep. I think we've tried that years before. We do in-house trials, grades against different grades. Don't think it has the same competitiveness when you're playing against your own club mates. It just becomes a bit of a social, really.
Mine's actually the opposite. Mine really becomes a bit cutthroat at times, and unfortunately what it actually led to in some instances, and maybe it's just a vocal minority, but people were more intent on coming off the green and telling you how bad other people were than how good they were.
Sounds like bowlers, doesn't it?
Instead of, you know what I mean? Instead of like worrying about their own performance and playing themselves into a position, they're trying to talk everyone else out of that position. Yeah, I'm better than him because he did this, and this. The claustrophobia in the calendar, we haven't had a chance for an in-house trial as well, but Now we're just going to do the 2 external ones, and it's mostly going to be for grades 4 and below. We'll get a grade 3 side together just before the season starts because, unfortunately, again, calendar's pretty tight, but those lower grade ones tend to not enter the indoor singles, which is on that particular weekend in January, and that's when we're going to play the entrance down there at the entrance. So we're just going to use the lower grades in that. Might try, if we have enough spares, we might try and get another trial against another local club, and maybe some of those fringe players go and have a crack at that. But I suppose when I sit and look at them, the squads aren't released because there's quite a lot of compactness within the ability of the player. So, like, you don't want to, 1, dishearten someone, and 2, give someone false hope where they switch off. So, yeah, we'll release the trial teams, and then based on how they go, we'll release the second lot of trial teams. And from that, people will start to get a grips of, well, this is probably where I'm going to end up.
It's interesting that that's 2 sides of the fence. You know, when you say you don't want to release squads, but then we're saying let's release squads and give people a chance to either get down to training sessions that we have every Thursday to show that they're going to put the commitment in and train and play in events and play in some tournaments and on the preparation, and that'll be noted and that'll be by our selectors and people around the club, and that will be seen. So that's kind of where we're coming from. But I can definitely see it from your side that if you release squads, some people can take it that, okay, well, I'm in that team and I don't need to do anything now until the first game of the season. Yeah. So I can see that being, and that's definitely a seesaw of like, what do you do? And there's no right or wrong answer, and it's entirely down to your own club and how you think your players and your members are going to react to that kind of thing. So
11 years at the one joint, I know what's going to happen in January. I'm going to get so many people come to the office with a coaster because that's all they could write on the back of, and you're going to have all these dates that they're suddenly not available for because the cat's sister's birthday.
This is a good question for you, DJ. What do you do? If you have a player that comes up to you at the start of the season and says, I can only play 5 out of 10 games.
That player, more often than not, is going to be put on the reserve list.
Okay. What if they say,
but this comes down to as well
6 or 7?
Hey?
Is there a cutoff? Would you say
there would be a cutoff? Like, I'd rather there was no missing. I'd rather everyone was committed, but I understand the lifestyle. 2, I think, is acceptable. 3, I will take, but it's pushing it with my personal preference.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where we've got ourselves in that position before of we've had that lower 7 grade. Suddenly, if somebody takes a spot, they've got to go back down because then you got to fill that grade anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas now we'll be in a position of if someone comes up to me and they're going to miss 2 or 3 games in a row and I replace them and that team keeps winning, we're not worried about trying to fill the grade down below. They're going to lose their spot.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one thing that we've given ourselves a headache with selections in the past of being able to do that. So it sounds cutthroat. It's the first time we've tried to do it, but we definitely want to try and win a lot more pennants this year, and we've got a chance to do that. So that's why we're trying to take that tack and just see how it goes.
And I think that's the direction we're going as well. That if you're going to be missing for more than 2 games, you're going to be on the sidelines because we want people that are committed, and it's not like, oh, I've got a birthday party to go or I'm off on holidays this week and I'm doing this next week. And, you know, there's players that are in the club that are putting holidays off because it's pennant season and they're rescheduling things in order that they can play in that game. And that's what you want from your members. That's what you want from guys that are committed to play week in, week out. And it makes it so hard, especially when you have the amount of teams that you guys have and we have, that if in grade 2 or 3 you're missing 2 or 3 players, that has a flow-on effect across all the other grades below, and it's really hard. It's really hard to get that right then.
Exactly. Then you get these other people that say, oh, we pick a squad of 14. But then you get 2 people sitting on the sideline each week that could play.
Yeah, it's no good.
Like, I don't like that either. You know, if they're available to play, you put them into play. But yeah, you get the usual, man. Like I said, a lot of it is, as I said, the demographic and stuff. Like you get those people that get sick during the year. So there's not much you can do about that. No. I understand that there's birthdays and things like that there most weekends because there's so many people around. But surely there's ones that you don't need to be going to the stepsisters, brothers, fiancés, cats, dogs birthday because your wife tells you to. Like, you know. Yeah. That's what you want to do, go and do it. Don't put your name up for pennants in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pennants isn't a social game. It's not a social event. And too often it's treated like that because it's just, I'll put my hand up and I'll get a game.
Yeah.
It should be an honour for you to be selected by the club. You shouldn't be expected, like I said, to be selected. You should be fighting for that spot each time. So we'll see if we can get back to that culture and see if it works. If not, we'll just go back to the social stuff next year. But yeah, that's, again, that, as I said, that's part of the reason why we let that. We've probably got enough that we could squeeze it each week to get that extra side in there, but it puts too much pressure on your selectors that are volunteers and doesn't put enough competition into your great players.
Yeah.
The ones that are trying to win. So that's the way we're looking at it for this year. Any more questions without notice, big fella? I thought we were done 15 minutes ago there and you started me.
I thought it was just a good lead in whenever we start saying about this time of the year, because that's what everyone talks about this time of year. It's penance.
No, you're right.
Silly season. And silly season, yeah.
It is. We are very much in silly season. And there's a lot of player movements going around. There's a lot of F spots and maybes, and a lot of egos floating themselves to the other clubs and getting knocked back, and suddenly they come back to your club with tails between their legs. And there's a couple of those I've had to deal with as well. So don't cut that out, Simon. Leave that in.
Will do.
But it's very much silly season, mate, which is why I try to take those 2 weeks and just sort of switch off a bit before getting back into it. And then January, you just have to hit the ground running, mate, because the next 3 or 4 months for someone in my position is just busy, flat out. So,
definitely in New South Wales, the January, February, March is the peak season of long balls. So, yep, that is when everything's happening. And yeah, there's plenty of bowlers on the greens.
Yeah. Speaking of silly season, you got any player announcements you're allowed to divulge from Tarrant Point? Got any local talent you've managed to bring across? I know you were trying hard with Jack Lewis to bring him across from England, the way you were fluffing up his feathers during a podcast one time.
Just saying what I thought, mate. And I was not trying to get anyone to Tarrant Point, but, doors always open. Jack, if you want to
go. Marquee-wise, you got any big announcements coming, mate?
Platinum Pennants, I can definitely say we've got Chris Rosannes. He played last year for us, so he is coming back again. So
from Pine River, still playing at Pine River.
So really glad to see him. He is his attitude, his aura on the green, and how he supports everyone on the green. He is really loud. Last year was the first time I'd played with Chris or been on the same green with Chris, and he's exactly what you want from a player. He's loud on the green, supports everyone, and plays some really good bowls as well, DJ. So glad to have him back in the fold this year again. And
very good.
Yeah, we're waiting on the final marquee, which is yet to be named.
Ooh, we'll keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah.
So at least your marquees know what club they're going to too. But we'll just leave that there. So but any other? I don't think there's too many big names moving around down in Sydney at this stage, is there? I haven't heard too many player movements.
I haven't really myself.
No, it's been pretty quiet. And obviously, Jeremy's the big one out of Warilla. It'll be interesting to see if a particular domino falls there that sparks a bit of.
You might
could be a few more fall after that. It just depends what they decide to do down there. So I'll keep, like we said, very much keeping an eye on that one as to what happens there. But yeah, not much happening up here either, mate. Raymond Terrace are going to be strong again in Platinum, so keep an eye out for them. There's another team up here in Platinum. I can't remember who it is, but I wouldn't worry too much. And expressions of interest are out for 2026, man. We'll see what we can do at Maitland City.
Hopefully, hopefully you guys can tick the box and get yourselves into it. And I'd love to see Tarrant Point for Maitland City. Yeah,
up in Maitland City, staying in our motel. It'd be lovely getting your big Sydney money out of you. So
you wouldn't put me up in your place.
Oh, you could probably come over here, mate. That time of year, the man cave will not be that hot. You could probably sleep on the floor here. But yeah, just don't tell Axe. Don't invite Axe. He's a bit loose.
Yeah.
So he is. But yeah, well, that's basically what's coming up in 2025. Like I said, any more questions without notice before we wrap up, Simon? Or are you good now?
Nah, we're good now.
We're good now, right? Well, as always, folks, keep that little disc on the inside, but have a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year. Stay safe on the roads. Enjoy looking after your family and being with family. That's what it's all about. And don't forget, there's only one reason for the season, isn't that right, Simon?
That's it. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and we'll look forward to you tuning into us in 2025, and good luck in those greens.